Hello friends, I am back with my series of SIP where I invite some impressive people so that we can learn new things from the good life story of that impressive person. Basically, what I feel leaders are not different persons, but they do the things differently. They are the person who have planned to execute, who have learning to implement, who never give up, and last but not the least, they have something, they have knowledge to give to the society. This is my 10th series of SIP, and I am with a legend who has experience of over 28 years, especially in the all fields of electrical power, be it generation, transmission, and distribution, who didn't feel satisfied with his education of diploma. He entered into BTech, then did MTech from IIT Delhi. Also, he did MBA to update his knowledge, and who has been instrumental in reducing the TNP losses of Delhi Distribution Company, DRPL, and presently who is heading the protection department that is known as the heart of any distribution or transmission generation system. And I would like to welcome respected Honorable Umesh Kumar Gupta Sir, who is with me. Welcome, sir. Welcome to my show of SIP, where I invite some
Thank,
impressive person. And now I am very happy you have invited my invitation and you are with me right now. And as I always start, I would like to know about your journey from your college time to entry into power system.
thank you, Dr. Rajesh. Uh, Once again, I thank you for such an giving me a chance for such an beautiful interaction with not only with you but through you with the entire power sector fraternity of India. So, uh, uh, as you asked that how did I came to the power sector and what was my earlier days, uh, right from the schooling to the doing diploma engineering and then BTech and progressing further uh, in the career. Uh, if I go back to my early days of life when I was a young boy of about say 10, 12 years and studying in fifth standard say. That time I used to go to my uncle's uh, home, who was at that time was working with the State Electricity Board UP as assistant engineer. So as a young boy, when I was looking in his life, I felt that I should also have that kind of life. So from those early days, I thought I should also go in my career as an engineer. As the time passed, uh, though at that time I was not having so much knowledge. So in earlier days, after doing PUC from Aligarh University, I did diploma in engineering from electrical branch from Aligarh University. And in the very first year of the diploma engineering, uh, I uh, thought that I have taken a wrong step at that time, because by doing diploma engineering, the career progression may not be to that level. So nothing to worry. After doing diploma engineering, just after doing diploma engineering, I again joined the BTech PE from same university,
Very inspiring.
and after doing BE, I joined State Electricity Board UP as JE.
Wow.
A- and uh, and after joining as JE in State Electricity Board UP, those were the days of, I think, early 90s. I was as a young engineer posted with thermal power generation at Obra Thermal
It
Power
was
Station.
like your dream came true because you always wanted to be the part of that electricity board when you used to see your uncle. Finally, that came true.
But what happens that as you progress in your life, the things changes and you start thinking this way or that way. And when I did my PUC, I was also thinking to join army to serve the nation. So either I have to go to the army as a maybe as a soldier or as an engineer. So because of the, I also appeared for the NDA, but could not succeed in that. So what happened that that was another field was open. As an engineer, I joined State Electricity Board UP, and by when the time passed further,
For
I
how many years did
realized
you work with that electricity board? For how many years?
5 years.
Can you tell me the specific particular story about your experience of that 5 years that still comes in your mind?
In early days of my career, I was posted with 210 megawatt thermal power unit of Obra Thermal Power Station. That was unit number 11. I still remember that was unit number 11. So for the first year of my career, I was working in operation of the thermal power unit. 11th unit I was posted. So those were the days when we were working in the shifts. In shift we were working those days. And after serving there for 1 year, I was transferred in testing and commissioning division. So the career from generation engineer shifted to electrical protection engineer, testing and commissioning division of State Electricity Board, and that division was Hardua division. Hardua means Kasimpur Thermal Power Station, and the same place is also known as the Hardua. So there I was for around 4.5 years
Wow.
working with UP State Electricity Board as testing and commissioning engineer.
Then how did you join DESU or DVB? Because why did you take a decision to join? Because you are satisfied with that electricity board.
As the time passed, I realized that because I was bachelor's, I have already done bachelor engineering, and in State Electricity Board, UP, my career was not progressing. So I thought that if I kept on working with the State Electricity Board UP, I may not be able to progress further in my career. So I decided to switch the job, and in 1994, I joined National Power Training Institute as a trainer. So that way I came to National NPTI, and for next 5 years, up to say 94 to 99, I was working with the National Power Training Institute, premier institute of the power sector of India.
What were
As
you
a
training, sir? What was the subject of training at the NPTI when you were working as
Hmm.
a trainer there? What was the main field? What was the main scope of work?
So from 1995 to 1999, I was working with the NPTI as assistant director, technical. So my job was basically to impart training for the engineers, young engineers, and also experienced engineers from different states, from Haryana, Punjab, Rajasthan, and most of the engineers that time were coming to NPTI were from the northern region, because as you see that NPTI is having different regions. In northern region it is NPTI Badarpur, and in south it is Ney Valley, like that in Central India.
Where was your posting, sir? Where was your posting? Faridabad.
I yes, I was no, I was at Badarpur.
Okay, Badarpur.
So that way, I was associated with the uh, training of the engineers, and most of the engineers I remember were that time from the Rajasthan, Haryana, northern region of the India.
Okay. Then how did
And
you get a chance to come to DESU?
first, your earlier question that what I was
Yeah,
associated
yeah, yeah.
in, I was associated in the with that time training in the sector in this generation protection, generation of generator operation, generator construction, especially 210 megawatt units. So electrical side of the plant I was looking after from training point of view. Different power apparatus assets like generator transformer, generator, then switchyard equipments, all these equipments which are electrical equipments related to thermal power station, especially 210 megawatt. So I was associated with that during my days with NPTI.
And coming to the part of DESU, how did you get that chance to be the part of DESU and you join as an assistant engineer there?
Uh, that is also a story. What happened there in NPTI, though the institute was associated with the training of the power sector engineers, but during uh, that time, if you go back, you may recall that most of the state utilities, maybe even generation utilities, they have set up their own training infrastructure. So what happened that the trainees from the state electricity boards count was going on decreasing continuously. And those were the days when NPTI also started a special program for the students like postgrad diploma in thermal power plant engineering, like that. So I felt that as a trainer, uh, before it will be better to work in field first and to uh, gain knowledge from the field. Uh, Simply sitting in the NPTI may not be able to uh, help me in updating my knowledge in the field related to power sector. So that way I thought that 5 years is, I think 5 years were sufficient as a means to start with NPTI. So therefore I switched to the this that time Delhi Vidyut Board, and that time some vacancies were published through UPSC, and I applied and got selected. So that way I joined Delhi Vidyut Board.
Okay. Where was your very first posting in Delhi Vidyut Board?
So I was posted, though I was residing in Faridabad, I was posted in Rohini district
Okay. Okay.
as AEC and A. So for around uh, something less than 1 year, I was there working in Rohini division as AEC and A. And because the distance was uh, quite large to travel daily from Faridabad to Rohini, and I also tried to find out suitable accommodation, but that was not materialized. In the meantime, I got transferred to the South Delhi, and there I was posted with the street light department.
Okay.
So
After unbundling of DVB into different distribution company, you became the part of BSES Rajdhani, if I am not wrong. And
Yes.
but I know you have been instrumental in the reduction of T&D losses of that distribution company in your area. How was your experience? What was your plan, and how did you implement it?
In After joining TBB, for few years I worked in street light department. Thereafter, I was posted in planning and then in distribution directly, daily operation and maintenance aspects of the division Saket. So, as a division in charge of Saket district, then Basant Kunj district, uh, both the districts, if I go back to those days, comparative to other districts, these divisions, the districts were having slightly higher T&D losses. So, uh, the philosophy while working on the T&D losses, I because I was also doing that time just before that I was also I also did my MTech from IIT Delhi. So through all that knowledge from the means after doing MTech and practical experience, one of the thing I realize is that if you want to improve something, you have to measure it. Until and unless you measure it, you will not be able to improve it. Just like as if you want to improve the quality of the milk, you need to know that how much is the water content in that milk. So that way, uh, the main thing, if you want to, at that time I realized that if I want to reduce the losses in T&D losses, distribution sector, especially working with for Vasant Kunj division, first I estimated that where are the losses, and go if you uh, get that knowledge that where are the losses, then accordingly you may plan your strategies. Because if you want to improve something, then again the actions has to be different for different level of losses. So that way, measuring the losses, estimating the losses, feeder wise, distribution transformer wise, and accordingly planning the strategy that what has to be done specifically to the areas.
Means the planning to reduce T&D losses can't be fixed. That depends situation to situation and area to area, and it depends on the losses already prevailing in that area. Accordingly, you
See,
have to make a plan.
Rajesh, if you see that if there are losses, if some area is like that where losses are more than 40% like that, then it is quite simple to estimate that
True.
wherever you go, you will find something here and there, some hanky panky. So uh, the the task is easy comparatively,
Actually, the
but the
task
loss,
challenge is when the losses are already at the optimum level.
yes. So when the losses are at say 10%, then you have to plan accordingly. The strategies
Right.
will be different.
Right.
So you have to gauge that what level of losses are there in which feeder, in which distribution transformer. Accordingly, you have to align your strategies and take actions. So actions will be different. If you have 40% losses, then it means that you have to basically filter out that where is the theft of electricity is taking place. If the losses are say reaching to 10%, then you have to think about technically that technical losses are contributing to the losses or not. So like that you have to measure and segregate your plans, activities, and accordingly you have to control.
So,
So
did you
that
get
is the
success in
key.
that one? Did you get success in reducing T&D? What were the losses when you joined, and what were the final level in
uh,
terms of
I
quantity?
think, as I remember, those were the days. I think that time the losses were around 15-16% in early 2000. I think I was there in district Basant Kunj. 2008 and 9. So that time I think losses were around 15-16%. And after 4 years when I left, it was down to I think
So your voice is missing. Yes, sir. We were talking about the losses. How did you achieve
yes.
it?
So as we were discussing that by planning activities specific to the area, activities according to area, that what at what level of the losses we are, accordingly planning the activities means controlling the theft or replacing the meters, or by doing some feeder augmentation, controlling the voltage drop along the feeder, for reducing the technical losses. So that way we were successful in controlling the losses. And I think, as I remember, when I left division Basant Kunj in 2012, it was below 12%.
Great, great, great. Now coming to the very important question, as a your role presently that you are working as a vice president in a protection division that known as the heart of any power system. What is your role? What are you doing? What are your plan? And kindly throw some light on that role.
Actually, right from the beginning, as we discussed earlier, that in State Electricity Board, I was in 2000 in 1995 to 1999. I was testing and commissioning engineer. So protection was always at the core of my heart. Uh, it is the field which I liked most right from the beginning. So in 2012, when I was working with the division Vasant Kunj, that time our CEO called me in the office, and probably because of the reason that that time nobody was interested to work as a head of the Department of Protection in VSCS Rajdhani Power Limited, or maybe some other reason. I was called and I was discussed about this responsibility. And as I said earlier, that I was always having a fascination, my interest towards protection. So I quite happily agreed to take that responsibility. And that way in 2012, I was posted as a HOD protection in VRPL. And since then, I am looking after this function. And very recently, I have also given the RMU workshop, a
Okay,
maintenance workshop, that has also been added. So that way, I am looking after this function.
okay. If we look at the recent accident that happened yesterday in Mundka related to the fire accident, and every fire accident is blamed on, finally, the blame goes to electrical short circuit. What do you feel as a production head? How the people in India give preference to electrical safety and protection system? What your view on that, and how the people are, why people are not ready to implement safety rules and protections associated with that?
Uh, if you go to any premises, generally in India, not only in Delhi, but also in other states, uh, I think people are not very much conversant with the uh, electricity as a whole. Means uh, they are not aware about the load and the network which is required to cater that load. And that is the reason, if you see the meter box locations or the location where the complete distribution of the wiring terminates of any building, of any house, or even of a commercial complex, the that location is, if you see, is not good. If you visit, it will you will feel very, I think you will feel very uh, means unsafe. The condition is not so, because of the reason the people are not aware, and they are not also, I think, having that kind of knowledge. And because of that reason, most of these people, they keep these locations in a poor condition. And what happens when, especially in summers or when load peaks, because of these loading conditions, uh, already the temperature is on the higher side, and the that MCB or some wire or something else gives up, and the fire starts. That may be one of the reason which may cause unprecedented and undesirable such kind of event which has happened just day before yesterday in Mundaka. Means
Okay.
people are using electricity, but they are not aware about the safety and the way they should maintain their wiring and even the distribution boards, etc.
And what are the biggest challenge do you think you face as a production engineer as a head of a BRPL?
Uh, I think right from the start of my career, even as on today, as such, there are no big challenges. I should say that I have not seen any such big challenges, but of course, uh, there are challenges in life. Uh, say, if you change the job from one location to another location, generally what happens that people early in early stage of that switch do not accept you. So it is up to you to uh, get mixed with them, to win their hearts, to work with them as a team. So that kind of challenges I felt I am having three times when I switched my job from State Electricity Board UP to NPTI, then NPTI to Delhi Vidyut Board, and in Delhi Vidyut Board to PSS Rajdhani Power Limited, and even from one department to another department. So when that kind of switchover takes place, generally it takes some time to get along with the people already working at that place. So those kind of challenges are there. And if you ask about the challenges related to my function, so of course, when I was posted, I was asked to streamline the things, and definitely there were some events and incidences that time where when the breakdowns were happening, and during that breakdown, that as a protection engineer, each and every event has to be analyzed from protection point of view, whether the tripping has taken place is correct or some erratic behavior has taken place. So that way my challenge to after joining this department, protection department, was to streamline all these things, and especially to uh, address all the breakdowns which are taking place according to the requirement of the conditions there. So to build up a team which can handle all these situations, was really a challenge at that time. And I think I subscribe to the philosophy where I want to develop, I would like to develop my team where each and every engineer should be capable to handle the tough situations individually.
Great.
Not like that I am having that knowledge and I should go and I should redress that situation.
So these are
My
the
entire
quality
team should.
legends like you. They always love to disseminate the knowledge, whatever they have. That you are doing. Great, sir. Great. And now, time to talk about your personal life. You tell me something about your family, your social life, hobbies, and future plan.
Rajesh ji, I'm having a small family. My better half, Rani, she is uh, she is an advocate by education, but do not practice.
Great.
Uh, takes care of my takes care of entire activities at the home, so that I should be able to work in the field.
Okay.
And I'm having three children. The eldest is a daughter. She has also BTech from YMCA Faridabad in
Oh,
IT. Right now, she is in Bangalore and working with one US based company, Cloud App. The middle one is again my daughter. Second daughter, she has done bachelor's in mass communication and journalism from Makanlal Chaturvedi University, Bhopal,
great.
and right now she is pursuing masters from Kingston University, UK.
Great.
And youngest one is my son. Uh, he is pursuing BTech from Triple IT Allahabad.
Wow. Wow. Great,
So
sir. Great.
a
And what
small
about your
family, of
future
course.
plan? What about your future plan? The very last question related to your personal life.
Uh, uh, may I go a little back? Uh, because I do not belong to a family traditionally who is in that kind of job which I am doing.
Okay.
My family's background is typically all the people in my family. My parents are business oriented.
Okay.
My elder, my brothers, they are also in business. I am the only person in my family who is in uh, this kind of job, doing service in power sector. So, uh, because you see that in business families generally in earlier days you are not giving that kind of opportunity that you go and service. Similarly, my parents in my earlier days also willing that I should join that business and work with them. But as I said, that because of the reason that my uncle were in State Electricity Board UP, so I chose this career with the State Electricity Board or power sector, not by chance, but by choice.
That means in future you are going to join your business, family business.
I think no, not at all, not
Okay.
possible. After going so many days that I think it will be high time to give back to the society.
Right. Very true. Very, very true. The leaders should disseminate whatever they have earned in their life to the society. Now time start to give back to the society. Uh, I have come to the last question of my series. I would like to know what is your piece of advice for the youth engineers, especially electric engineers in our country. Please state a few words from your side so that they can get motivated.
Uh, Rajeshji, I would like to quote one verse from Srimad Bhagavad Gita,
Please.
chapter 18, in which Krishna says that he defines the kartas, means whosoever does some work
Okay.
of three types, sattvic, rajasi and tamasi. In fact, in whole Gita, these three types of means even gunas were discussed, rasi, tamsi and sattvic. So he defines the sattvic karta. He says that a person should be, how a person should be. He should be मुक्त संगो अहनवादी धत्युत्साह समन्विता सिद्धया सिद्धियो निर्विकारः कर्ता सात्विक उच्यते. Means that a person should not get associated or attached while doing any work towards the work, even with a person or anything. Means whenever you work without any attachment. Mukta Sango Ahanvadi. And you should not think that you are the person doing the work. Ahambadi means I am doing, it is not, I am not doing. Sorry. Dhatutsah Samanvata means patience and zeal. Both should be there. Means in life, you have to leave two things. I am doing and any kind of attachment. Two things you have to take along with patience and zeal, both things. But what happens generally, if you see that in when you are working with zeal, you lose your patience. So that's why a combination of these two talents
What a
means
great
you have
learning. What a great learning. And
uh,
because paucity of time, I have to say thank to you for your story you have already expressed, the piece of advice you have given to youth. And last but not the least, thank you very much once again for accepting my invitation. And now you are with me and you have shared your story. And thank you, sir. Thank you very much for sharing your story. Thank you, sir.
thank
Thanks a
you,
lot. Thank you, sir.
thank you, thank you once again, Rajesh.
Thank you, sir.